million people are in jeopardy. And in sports, 2 Ohio schools compete tonight when the Bobcats take on Rio Grande in the Convo. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening and welcome to Newswatch, your source for all news impacting southeastern Ohio. I'm Ben Schwartz. Thank you for joining us. More than $60,000 in grants are set to come into southeastern Ohio. State Representative Jay Edwards made the announcement earlier this week. The grant money will come through NatureWorks, a grant program that supports local parks and recreation projects. In Athens County, Amesville's Gifford Park is set to receive $3,000 for exercise equipment. Gloucester will also receive more than $18,000 for work on shelter roofs and basketball courts. The Trump administration is tightening work requirements for the federal food stamp program. This would slash benefits for hundreds of thousands of people. USDA officials say the rule announced today would save roughly $5.5 billion over 5 years, but benefits would be cut from roughly 688,000 recipients. Larry Lafferty is a volunteer at the Nelsonville Food Cupboard in Athens County. We spoke with him earlier this year when the SNAP cut was only an idea.
If you want to hurt the hungry people in the nation, if you want to hurt those who go without, cut SNAP. It's on a different scale. The magnitude is completely different. Whether we feel overwhelmed, whether we, see an increase every year of 100 a month, and this just continues and continues. It's still small compared to what SNAP does.
The federal SNAP program currently feeds more than 36 million Americans. Kentucky authorities have arrested 3 people in connection with the selling of a baby. According to police, the 31-year-old mother, Maria Domingo Perez, gave conflicting statements but later confessed to handing the baby over to a couple. Caterina Jose Felipe and Jose Manuel Pascual admitted they paid $2,000 for the child. Jail records show Pascual and the 2 women were arrested and charged with selling or purchasing a child for adoption. 2 police officers in Dayton, Ohio were dragged by a car for more than 50 yards. The suspects are still on the loose. Authorities said the 2 officers were handling an unrelated call when a driver tried to hit them yesterday afternoon. The suspects got away but were located a short time later in a different vehicle. When officers tried to arrest the suspects, one of the men got into the driver's seat and drove off while dragging the 2 officers. One of them was not hurt, but the other officer has serious injuries from road rash. Police are still searching for the suspects. The murder case for a West Virginia man has been delayed after his request for his accuser's DNA to be compared to the DNA at the crime scene. 42-year-old Ronald Withrell's trial was scheduled to start yesterday, but had been rescheduled for February. He's accused of killing David Ralph in 2017. Withrell was found inside Ralph's home by his girlfriend the night of the murder. He then left their home. And moving to Kentucky, where a former office manager, for the Boyd County Child Support Office has been indicted on charges of theft and forgery. According to a statement from Kentucky State Police on Monday, 55-year-old Mary Pickett faces 1 count of theft by unlawful taking and 76 counts of forgery. A grand jury has handed down an indictment accusing Pickett of forging the name of another person to unlawfully obtain more than $30,000 over 7 years. Last night, families, friends, and survivors held a vigil in memory of the victims that died in the stampede outside of a rock concert in Cincinnati in 1979. It's been 40 years since 11 people died in a stampede before the WHO concert at Riverfront Coliseum on December 3, 1979. They lit candles and held a moment of silence.
Hello, I'm forecaster Adlai Carwish here, and today it's been quite nice outside. Right now, 46 degrees outside, humidity at 50%, pressure at 29.68. It's been a little windy though, coming from the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. It was pretty warm outside today, so it wasn't too bad. Taking a look at southeastern Ohio right now, and Chillicothe's at 45, Jackson at 46, Ripley at 47, and New Lexington at 43. So all around, it's been in the mid 40s to even lower 40s, like with New Lexington at 43, and even with tonight, 31 degrees, cloudy early and clearing up after midnight. Winds coming from the northwest at 10 to from the west northwest, excuse me, at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So it is a bit blustery, but it should be not too bad with the clouds coming in. It should be clearing up after midnight though, which shouldn't be too bad because it'd be a nice night outside. It'd be a little cold though, getting down to the low of 31. But Ben, it's been a pretty nice day, and tomorrow looks even better.
Yeah, Adelaide has been surprisingly nice these recent days. I'm sure it's not going to stick around for super much longer.
No,
though.
coming up, it's definitely going to bring some rain to the area.
Yes, well, thank you for the forecast. The judge for the civil case involving C&D Disposal Technologies in Jefferson County has recused herself. Judge Michelle Miller recused herself from the case on Monday, and the order was filed on Tuesday. There's no indication as to why she did so, other than the order stating to avoid appearance impropriety. The case will now require a visiting judge. Researchers in Ohio are hoping to get traction with the technology for training snowplow drivers. The University of Cincinnati is developing simulators for future drivers. As Lisa Smith personally finds out, the simulators are very real.
Sit behind it and you see that, okay, you're kind of moving, just like driving a normal truck.
Abe Adebisa is a grad student at UC, working on his PhD in civil engineering. As a native of Nigeria, he's upfront about his snow driving skills.
I just moved to Cincinnati like 1 year ago. So I've only had like one snow season.
But he's a vital member of the team at UC, working to help ODOT, which is having trouble keeping trained plow drivers on the road.
ODOT is actually losing experienced drivers. So every year when the snow season comes, you have a huge demand for the large number of snowplow drivers.
This simulator gives the state the opportunity to train year-round. Dr. Joshi Ma heads up the research and programming of the simulator at UC. He says the way they're doing this will be a first.
So what we are doing with ODOT is create ODOT-specific routes.
So the 3D images the driver in training will see will be real-life images of the roads they'll plow.
We worked with 3 ODOT district offices, and we selected about 200 miles of the key road segments.
The simulator can actually mimic different weather scenarios. For example, it could just be snowy roads, or it can start snowing, actually turning into a blizzard that is either during the day or night, depending what's on the simulator.
You have to maneuver this truck, which is not easy by itself. You will have to drive under adverse weather conditions.
Looking out for other drivers is another scenario plow drivers have to consider, as I found out when I gave the simulator a try. Oh no, no. You can't back up. I'm right here. What are you doing?
So we have interviewed multiple experienced snow and ice drivers and program managers to understand what are the most important scenarios for them and what are the most dangerous scenarios.
UC's team will try this out first in Lorain County in Northeast Ohio. They've already been there to gather images of the roads.
Researchers say it will take at least a year to program the simulator with the routes in Lorain County. Impeachment hearings continue, but now they're in the hands of the House Judiciary Committee. Legal scholars weigh in on the impeachment case against President Trump. Plus, the search for a missing girl in Arizona continues, but weather could get in the way of the efforts of hundreds of families looking for her. Stay with us.
Many of the world's most breathtaking landmarks have been inspired by faith. These sites of divine worship remain the focus of deep spiritual significance and extraordinary acts of devotion, rarely seen by outsiders. Discover the amazing stories and the incredible people that surround Earth's sacred wonders. Available with PBS Passport starting November 30th.
What if I said there's an entirely new life stage that offers a 2, 3, and maybe even a 4-decade opportunity to reinvent yourself, to live with passion, to find your purpose? Growing Boulder's Launchpad to What's Next brings you world-renowned experts, real-life examples, and all the tools you need to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Don't miss Launchpad to What's Next.
It's you I like.
Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this is the one where you blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers, It's You I Like.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me this holiday season for a colorful musical celebration of Christmas all across Europe. We'll explore festive markets, enjoy glorious local choirs, toast tasty holiday traditions with family and friends, and find some time to play in the snow. Along the way, we'll have some fun in the studio, sharing the latest tips about traveling smartly. It's my 2-hour holiday special, European Christmas.
Four legal scholars are on Capitol Hill today, weighing in on the impeachment case against President Trump. The House Judiciary Committee took the reins of the proceedings today, the day after the House Intelligence Committee made their report on the matter public. Karen Kafer reports from Washington.
House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler kicking off his panel's role in the impeachment inquiry against President Trump.
Never before has a president engaged in a course of conduct that included all of the acts that most concerned the framers.
The witnesses, 4 legal scholars, 3 called by Democrats, agreeing the president abused the power of his office.
We 3 are unanimous.
And warning of dire consequences if Congress does not act.
This is precisely the misconduct that the framers created a constitution, including impeachment, to protect against.
The witnesses invited by Democrats also cut at key Republican talking points, like their argument that withholding aid from Ukraine doesn't amount to an impeachable offense because it was ultimately released.
The possibility that the president might get caught in the process of attempting to abuse his office and then not be able to pull it off does not undercut in any way the impeachability of the act.
Based on the evidentiary record before you, what has happened in the case today is something that I do not think we have ever seen before.
But a witness called by Republicans, Professor Jonathan Turley of George Washington University, saw it differently.
Impeachments have to be based on proof, not presumptions. That's the problem when you move towards impeachment on this abbreviated schedule.
Echoing a sentiment of Republicans on the committee.
The clock and the calendar are seemingly dominating this.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafer.
As impeachment hearings continue, we will continue to update you on Newswatch. In the midst of these hearings, the Iranian president renewed his call to the Trump administration today, saying Iran is willing to talk if the United States agrees to lift all sanctions imposed on the country. The Iranian president made the comments during a national conference in Tehran. He said, quote, whether the United States is ready to lift all illegal, unjust, and terrorist sanctions on Iran, and P5+1 leaders will meet right away. Back in September 2019, while speaking to reporters on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly, the Iranian president said Iran would not talk with the U.S. until Washington lifts sanctions. Hundreds of people continue to search for a missing 6-year-old in Tonto Basin, Arizona. Friday, the family's truck was swept away by floodwaters. 2 other children's bodies were recovered following the storm, but the girl has not yet been found. The search was suspended at sunset Tuesday, but the plan is to resume efforts today. But as Joey Carrera reports, officials say rain could be a factor.
Yes, that type of weather could affect the search itself because it just depends on how severe the weather is during that day will dictate what we're going to do out here.
Many Arizona law enforcement agencies are sending in resources to assist in the search, including scuba divers who have been on scene but went into the water today.
We have divers, we had swift water rescuers in the water, boats. We have helicopters going to be coming in and out. DPS Ranger was here earlier. We have drones and just troops on the ground.
Volunteers are also flocking to the area to help.
A friend of mine that I met on the first day was on a road trip from Alaska to Florida and saw it on the news and rerouted his trip just to come, and he's still here today.
Authorities and volunteers working together to quickly cover more ground, looking for any signs of 6-year-old Willow Rawlings.
We're focusing from the incident where the truck was at, about 3.5 miles in. They call it a beaver dam, and they're going to focus from that point on all the way to the north end of the lake.
Against all the odds, people are praying for a miracle, hoping they find little Willow.
Emotionally, it's taxing.
You know, this is the worst that I've seen. I'm not going to be able to compare that with anything else because this is the worst that I've seen here in this area.
The sheriff's office says pants belonging to Willow were found 3/4 of a mile away from where the family's truck was swept away. The exact location was not given. Families in the Northeast dig themselves out from about 3 feet of snow. How they're staying warm, that story's still ahead.
And coming up on weather here, it's going to be a rainy couple of days, but it's been nice so far. That and here's your stats of local interest.
Coming to PBS, a musical celebration of Vienna. Join us for a gala evening of song, dance, and romance. Hosted by Frederica von Stade and Maximilian Schell. From the historic concert house in the heart of the city, it's a salute to Vienna.
Many of the world's most breathtaking landmarks have been inspired by faith. These sites of divine worship remain the focus of deep spiritual significance and extraordinary acts of devotion, rarely seen by outsiders. Discover the amazing stories and the incredible people that surround Earth's sacred wonders. Available with PBS Passport starting November 30th.
What if I said there's an entirely new life stage that offers a 2, 3, and maybe even a 4-decade opportunity to reinvent yourself, to live with passion, to find your purpose? Growing Boulder's Launchpad to What's Next brings you world-renowned experts, real-life examples, and all the tools you need to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Don't miss Launchpad to What's Next.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Hi, this is Marion Ross. Please join me and Gavin MacLeod in A Classic Christmas.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Mama, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Adlai Karwish. Right now in Athens, it is 46 degrees outside, humidity at 50%, pressure at 29.86 inches, a little lower than usual. Wind coming from the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it's been quite a windy day, but it's been sort of clear outside. It's been nice outside. Enjoy a walk outside. Take a look right now in southeastern Ohio. Chillicothe at 45, Jetson at 46, Ripley at 47, and New Lexington at 43. So all around, it's been pretty warm. It's been pretty warm for this time of year. All in the upper 40s, even down to the lower 40s, like New Lexington. Moving on, we're going to take a look at the U.S. temp map here. You see mostly cold, but you can see Ohio here, where we are right here, this sort of general area right here. It's definitely much more of green than it is blue, but you see that blue, anything north of us is pretty blue. It's pretty cold, it's down in the 30s, but anything south of us is getting pretty green. We're getting in the 40s and 50s, so we're all around in that area there. It's been pretty consistent far. Tonight, 31 degrees. It's going to get cloudy early, but it's going to clear up after midnight. Bit windy, though. Winds coming from the west at northwest, at 10 to 20 miles per hour. 31 degrees, moving forward to tonight all around southeastern Ohio. Chillicothe at 30, Columbus at 30, New Lexington at 30, and Ripley at 33. So it's been pretty consistent all around the area, only from 30 to 33 degrees. There's really no outliers or anything, so it's going to be pretty consistent night, pretty cold, somewhere around freezing, so be careful of that. Take a look at tomorrow. Once you wake up and once you get ready for work, 8 a.m., those kids get on the bus, it's going to be 32 degrees outside. Mostly cloudy, though, as those clouds start to move in towards the morning hours. By noontime, by lunchtime, 41 degrees, and it'll be partly cloudy around lunchtime, 41, and by 4 p.m., it's going to be a sunny afternoon, almost not a cloud in the sky. By 4 p.m., pretty sunny. We'll take a look at tomorrow. 45 degrees is your high. It's not going to get as high as it did today. Cloudy early morning, but mainly sunny in the afternoon. Winds coming from the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at tomorrow, all around Chillicothe at 47, Jackson at 48. And taking a look at the preset map tomorrow, you can see the high pressure system right in the Tennessee, North Carolina border here. That's sort of affecting the area up here, giving us that dry weather, but that's not going to last very long. By Friday morning, you're going to see that push through, and it's going to bring some rain, and you're going to see that by the 7-day outlook here. Well, Friday is going to be 47 degrees with some rain, but the weekend might be a little bit colder, but it is going to be nice. But once the week starts tomorrow, it's going to be a little rainy, so Ben, it's definitely going to be a rainy couple of days, but the weekend does look nice.
Yeah, it'll be a little surprising to see this rain staying through December and stuff, but better than being freezing cold in the snow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, though. While Granite Staters across southern New Hampshire had to dig out from 2 days of snow this week, residents of New Ipswich might have faced the toughest task after about 3 feet of snow fell on the town. They've had to dig through massive piles of snow trying to pick up after a storm that seemed to never quit. Plows and sanders are also busy keeping roads clear. And in neighboring towns, a similar story of people doing what they can to get rid of the snow. The Feldhusen family warming up at Marcus P's Cafe after 4 hours of digging out.
It was hard. Yeah. That was really hard. You know, it took 4 of us to get the 5 cars out. It was rough.
Families in New Hampshire have their work cut out for them, but the snowstorm is beginning to diminish.
Coming up in sports, the Ohio basketball team returns to action tonight against Rio Grande. Hear from head coach Jeff Bowles before the Bobcats contest. And 7 Ohio football players received all MAC awards for their performances on the gridiron this season. Find out who they were when Newswatch returns.
What if I said there's an entirely new life stage that offers a 2, 3, and maybe even a 4-decade opportunity to reinvent yourself, to live with passion, to find your purpose? Growing Boulder's Launchpad to What's Next brings you world-renowned experts, real-life examples, and all the tools you need to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Don't miss Launchpad to What's Next.
Woody's Children celebrates its 50th anniversary in a star-studded tribute by Pete Seeger's best interpreters and friends, including Peter Yarrow and Noel Paul-Stuckey, Tom Paxton, Holly Neer, Josh White Jr., Tom Chapin, Dar Williams, John McCutcheon, Kim and Reggie Harris, and more. It's standing room only in this moving tribute to Pete Seeger, marking his 100th birthday.
It's you I like.
Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
Oh, I love this. Is the one where you blow really, really hard.
It's really magic. It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers, it's you I like.
Hi, I'm Rick Steves. Join me this holiday season for a colorful musical celebration of Christmas all across Europe. We'll explore festive markets, enjoy glorious local choirs, toast tasty holiday traditions with family and friends, and find some time to play in the snow. Along the way, we'll have some fun in the studio, sharing the latest tips about traveling smartly. It's my 2-hour holiday special, European Christmas.
Welcome back to sports. I'm Trent Holland. The Ohio men's basketball team doesn't leave Athens the entire month of December. Ohio opens their home games this month tonight in the Convo when they square off against Rio Grande. The Bobcats are riding a 2-game win streak into the night, coming off of wins over Middle Tennessee and Detroit last week. Sophomore point guard Jason Preston has been a key asset to the team thus far, as Preston is averaging an impressive 8.1 assists per game against a high major opponent or NAIA school. Bowles just wants improvement from his team.
The biggest thing for us is to get better every single day and really lock in and focus and not worry about who you're playing. Whether it's Villanova, Rio Grande, just really, like we always say, mind right, game right. And we're not good enough to just roll in and beat somebody. I'm not a good enough coach to just out-coach somebody. So we got to prepare to win, and winning is difficult. But I think when you prepare and understand what you need to do to win the game, that's when good things happen.
The football regular season is over for the Ohio Bobcats, and that means it's an award season for some of the Bobcats. 2 Bobcats were named to the first team All-MAC. Senior quarterback Nathan Rourke was selected to the team. Rourke now becomes the first Ohio quarterback to be named All-MAC 3 times in his career, as he was second team All-MAC his previous 2 seasons. Rourke put up impressive numbers this year as he threw for 2,676 passing yards, which was good for 20 passing touchdowns, both being 4th most in program history. Up to this point, Rourke has played 38 games in his career, starting 36 of those, and holds a record of 23-13 at starting quarterback. Javon Hagan earned the first team All-MAC for the 2nd year in a row now, this making him the first defensive back in program history to earn first team All-MAC multiple times. Hagan finished the regular season with a career-high 99 tackles, which led the team. Rourke and Hagan weren't the only members of Ohio football team that was recognized by the Mid-American Conference for their efforts this season. On the MAC's second team was senior offensive lineman Austin Pleasance and senior punter Michael Farkas. Pleasance started all 12 games for the Bobcats this season, Farkas punting 47 times for almost 2,000 yards this season for a 41.7-yard average. Third-team all-conference performers for the Bobcats were senior offensive linemen Marquise Grimes and Stephen Hayes. Grimes played in all 12 games for the Bobcats, while Hayes appeared in 9 contests. The trio of linemen helped Ohio lead the MAC in scoring with 34.7 points per game. D.L. Knock was the final Bobcat named for the All-MAC teams. The kick return specialist had 635 kick return yards this season, 4th in the MAC and 8th most in Bobcat history. Ohio Volleyball also received some awards for their efforts this semester in the classroom. Ohio had 5 members on the academic All-MAC team. Seniors Meredith Howe, Shayla Phillip, and Lizzie Stevens were all named to the team. Junior libero Macy Rying and sophomore outside hitter Lauren Park were also selected. To qualify for the team, a student must achieve at least a 3.2 cumulative GPA and have appeared in at least 50% of the games this season. Back to you, Ben.
Thank you, Trent. A Utah couple's snowmobile excursion turned into a rescue operation when they helped save 3 freezing puppies from a snowy mountaintop. The couple spotted the Great Pyrenees pups with their mom wet, cold, and hungry. They say the dogs were living inside the remains of a sheep carcass. Rescue crews responded and collected the pups, but weren't able to coax the mom away. Investigators believe the dog had been protecting a flock of mountain sheep and then stayed to have her litter. The puppies will be put up for adoption, and rescuers will return to look for the mother. Now let's head back to Adelaide for a final look at weather.
Hello, welcome back real quick. 31 degrees tonight. It's going to be cloudy early, clearing up after midnight. Winds coming from high winds there. Taking a look, Thursday is going to be nice. Friday's got some rain, and the weekend not looking too bad. Ben, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Adelaide, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. Come to the Mr. Rogers neighborhood and celebrate the programs that have inspired more than 4 generations of children and parents.
It's so far beyond just entertainment.
Well-known friends share their heartfelt memories on Mr. Rogers. It's you I like.